In the last 24 days, from July 25th until today, I have made, what is it, $21,000. It's not that tough. There's really not that much that you need to do. Now, what you do need to do is start. Because if you don't start, you're never going to make the money. Now, let's suppose you've already started. Ultimately, to actually close a sale, there's only three things that you really need to understand. And these are kind of a cheat code. One, how do you sell? Two, how do you find a good offer? And three, how do you become the #1 performer on that offer? Now, what we're going to focus on this video is number one, how to actually sell. Because a sales stage, there's three phases that you actually go through. Stage number one is discovery. Here you find out if you can actually help the person uncover pain to make sure that they're actually driven and motivated to make something happen. Now, here's also where you develop pain. A lot of people are not aware of the actual consequences of not taking action. A lot of people are not aware of the actual pain that they're feeling, how that's impacting them, where that's coming from, that there are other options that they can go down. Let's say you're selling a coaching program, teaching people how to make money online. A lot of people are actually stuck in the mind that they've been in all their life. What that means is the decisions they have made that got them to where they are today cannot be the same decisions that are going to get them to where they want to go. Because if you keep doing what you're doing now, you're always going to keep having what you got. So in that sales call, in that discovery, the entire focus of a sales call at that point is helping the person overcome their old self and have them change into their new selves. If you have some experience, probably you already know the dreaded think about it, and then they ghost you, they never come back, and that's because they settle for their old self. 99% of sales that are lost to a think about it is just because people were scared to step up to the occasion and make the change they really wanted to make. Now, what can you do? Proper discovery. If you dig deeper into pain, people are more inclined to make a change. I'm going to go into that more in a second. What that looks like, let me give you an example. If your arm hurts, you're like, oh, my arm hurts, whatever. If your arm hurts terribly bad, you're like, oh, this is awful. If your arm hurts terribly bad for a month and it's only becoming worse, now you're like, what? Maybe I have a tumor. Maybe I'm going to die. Maybe I need to amputate my arm. Let me go to the doctor because I don't want that to happen. I need to change something. Pain is basically a combination of two things, intensity and how long. So when you tap into those two things, how has it been impacting them? How long has it been impacting them for? That basically shows the pain, because if you have terrible arm pain for one day and it's gone the next, you're like, whatever. But if you have it for a week, a month, maybe a year, you're like, hey, something needs to change here. So really what you're focusing on all the time is how bad is the pain and how long has it been going on for? All right, so that's your pain portion. Now we got the pain, now we have the impact on the person. What do we go into next? Why do they want to change? Why is now the moment they change? Why do you go to the doctor now? That kind of plays into the pain, right? Well, I mean, I've had it for so long, something has to change now. Why? Because they've had the pain for a long time, they want to change, they might not feel good enough. Cool. Now we've got that. What do we want to go into the discovery next? What's the upside? So let's say you do take action. Let's say we help you out. Let's say we teach you how to start your own Amazon business. Let's say we teach you how to become a remote closer. Let's say we teach you how to start your own marketing agency or whatever it might be. What is the next step? The next step is essentially, what would life look like if you do that? You know, we're driven because of two things. One, to run away from something, and the other one, to run towards something. So if you have this driver really strong, then you have this driver really strong. And listen to what I said before. Let's say we help you, that's subconsciously connected to you already helping them. So now they are presupposing, working with you, what that would look like when they actually take that action. How do you think that's going to help you in the sale? You know what I mean? So once you're going through that process, people are automatically more and more going to realize, hey, this is something that I can do subconsciously that's going to get me out of my pain and into my pleasure. So we really want to paint a picture, because a picture has feelings. Look at a picture of you and your mom. Look at a picture of you and your girlfriend, boyfriend, partner, whoever it might be. How do you feel when you see that? Do you have a little bit of a smile? Usually you do. Usually it makes you feel some kind of way. That's why people love picture so much, right? So when people create that picture in their brain, there are going to be feelings attached to it. What would that look like? Being able to go on your first holiday, not having to answer to your boss anymore. What would that look like? Seeing your first $10,000 come into your bank account. How would that make you feel? Now people start talking about the feelings that come up. They become attached to this picture that they can achieve subconsciously and presupposedly through your solution. So they're going to be mentally driven to actually start working with you because they feel like they can get to that vision if you help them out. So that's really what we do there. Last but not least is the consequence stage. What happens if we don't do anything? Hey, that's a beautiful vision you have there, and that absolutely rocks. And I know you mentioned about your pain. However, I'm kind of curious. Have you ever considered not doing anything about this? I mean, you haven't for the last couple of years. Like, what happens if you do that? And I'm not saying you will, because you kind of gotta kind of pre-handle what is gonna come up, which is like, oh yeah, but I won't, because they have. So who says they won't now, right? So what would that look like? Oh, I'd stay miserable. You just built them up. Now to get back to the picture of, oh, well, what if I don't do anything? Let's say you don't get the coaching, or let's say you don't get the help you need. What would that look like? How would life look like moving forward? They're going to expand on that vision. They're going to see themselves being miserable, being in their job, or being whatever they are. Maybe they're working at McDonald's. Maybe they're doing whatever. Maybe they just can't spend the time with their family. Are you willing to settle for that? No, I'm not. Why not, though? Why are they not willing to settle for that? So now you get a deep answer on that. That's going to give you a lot of clarity, and you can carry that into your objection handling. You can carry that into your pitch. Basically, end it off with, so time to make a change. Yes. Now you go into the second thing that you need in your sales basis, which is your pitch. Your pitch is extremely important. It's not extremely important because you need to give all the information. Your pitch needs to be a very clear bridge or vehicle to get them from where they are now to where they want to go. Maximum 4 pillars, usually like 3 pillars, and then the 4th pillar is how the support works and how that looks. So pillar number 1, let's say remote closing. We're going to teach you the skills that you need to actually sell people. Pillar number 2, we're going to teach you exactly how to find a job with a great offer where you can crush it and make a lot of money. And then step number 3 is we're going to teach you how to become the number 1 performer on that offer, which is partially skills, but there's some other things that you're going to need to be able to do that consistently. So let's say those are your 3 pillars, right? You explain how they work, you explain why they're important. Your pitch really shouldn't be more than a minute per pillar. And then pillar number 4, the way that we're going to help you, number 1, we're going to give you weekly coaching calls. We're going to give you video training modules. We're going to do a script writing session with you one-on-one, whatever it might be, right? For example. And that's exactly how we're going to teach you how to do it. Then we're going to teach you in this way how to get sales. And then number 4, we're going to do this for you. So you're really going to teach them exactly how you're going to do it, because what is important, but how is even more important. You can have the best program in the world, but if it's in a book or an online PDF, no one is really going to make success with it. So accountability. So that's usually my pillar number 4, that accountability factor, to make sure that people actually come in, they understand what's going on, they have the vision. Again, vision is important. They need to see themselves applying, or they need to see themselves applying your program. When they see themselves applying your program, they will effortlessly enroll because they feel they can see the vision, they know they can get there through you, and now they see exactly how they're going to do that. So now we've gone through the pitch. We ask, what questions do you have? The reason we say what compared to any questions could be no. What questions means they're going to come up with questions, and if they say no, they really don't have any. I always like to do a double tie down, with the first tie down pre-price drop, and then the second tie down after the price drop. And the tie down before, I always like to keep it a little bit light. Do you see how this has been able to help XYZ? Maybe they said I saw the interview with Christian. Do you see how this was actually able to help Christian get to XYZ? I always like to do that because now you get a little bit of a gauge before you go into the pricing. Maybe they're like, oh yeah, but I'm kind of curious about this, and then you can handle that. Now that we have done that, we can go into the last thing, which is the price. Cool. So for you to be able to get to XYZ goal that you have, for you to get to 20K a month so you can travel and take care of your family, the investment for that is $5,500. I always try to stay quiet for about a second, 2 seconds, really let that price sink in, and then I do a little bit of a pullback. And this is where my second tie down comes in. Because before we even talk about that, if I can kind of ask you, do you actually feel like this could actually be the answer for you though? Now the price has been dropped, but we immediately pull back to the question we kind of asked before. 99% of times they're going to say, yes, I feel like it is, with the price in mind. So subconsciously they're committing themselves. Why do you feel like it is? I get confirmation this time. I didn't get that last time. Last time I just keep it light. Now we get the confirmation. Why do you feel like this actually could get you there or will get you there? They're going to answer. They're going to tell you exactly why they feel like it will get them there. And then you're like, awesome. So usually what the next steps are from here is we take care of the investment, then we get you into the program so we can actually get you started with your business and get you to that goal that you mentioned that you have. Usually, if you've done your discovery well, if you pre-handled your objections, remember, Cobra Kai sales rules, number 1, pre-handle hard. Cobra Kai sales rules, number 1, pre-handle first, pre-handle hard, no mercy. Success doesn't have any mercy, so neither should we. That doesn't mean be rude, that means be thorough. That means be there for them. So that's essentially what that process looks like. Now we have objection handling, 3 objections that can come up, essentially 4, but the 4th is really a smokescreen. Number 1, they don't have the money. Number 2, they need to talk to their partner. And number 3, they're scared. They have uncertainty. They're afraid that they invest the money and they're not going to be successful, which this one is really the easiest to handle, in my opinion. Together with the money one, this one is really the easiest to handle because what choice do they have? Either they try, maybe they fail, and then they're in the same position they're now, but at least they know they try, or they don't try, they fail as well, and they spend that money in the club, or they spend that money on some trash that's never really going to help them. So if you've done your discovery good, your think about it objection should be handled incredibly easy. Money, very simple. Do you feel like this could be the answer for you? Again, if you had the money, would you do this? Okay, have you considered any possible avenues where you can get capital from so you can invest in yourself to get to your goal? Are you open to have a conversation around finances? What do you have on hand right now? You can go into payment plans, you can go into funding, you can take a deposit whilst they take money out of the stock market, take money out of crypto, take money out of whatever they might have to essentially get them going. So those are your objections. And then you have the partner objection. The ideal situation, if it's a real partner objection, is you end the call with a refundable deposit, $250, $500, $1,500, full pay, but you can refund it. And then essentially get the partner on the call, make sure everything is good, move them forward. Now, when you flawlessly execute on those 3 steps, you're able to sell at a 30, 40, 50% close rate. And when you close at a 30, 40, 50% close rate, you will be making $24, $21, $19, $15,000 a month, working about 6, 7 hours a day. So you have your freedom because you're not working full time. You can work from home or wherever I'm in an office right now in Amsterdam. I'll be flying back to Asia in a little bit. So you will have the freedom. You will do what you have to do. The very easiest thing to do for you personally is actually literally follow me on Instagram because I'm dropping a little bit more sauce there where you can learn from, where you can get some extra information so you can actually become a remote closer. Or if you are a remote closer, you can actually become better instead of bitter, and you can make more commission so your girlfriend is going to love you more. Because we all know the more money you have, the more people love you. It's the truth. It's not a joke. It's absolutely true. Thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day, and hopefully I see you in the next video.